Hey, folks. This is T with Mountain Readiness. So, I have a special guest with me today, and super excited to have him on here. And I have to say, I feel a little ashamed about myself because I did not know how deep this man actually is. Um, I always saw him as the naked and afraid guy. However, after delving into his background and all the different things that he does. Um, this guy could you would have to kill an entire rainforest to print out his resume. So without further ado, we have the Black MacGyver, Mr. Hakim Isler. Hakim, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really glad that I've got an opportunity to get on here and talk to everyone and really explain some of the things that I can do while I will be doing while we're out there at Mountain Readiness event.
No, for sure, for sure. So just a little bit of the background. Naked and Afraid XL. We already know that, but delving into the deeper military deployed, and you did what was it? You were Operations Sergeant, Psychological Operations. Is
Yes.
that
Uh-huh.
as well as let's see, you're a ninja. I mean, not many people can say that. A fifth degree black belt ninja.
Well,
Uh,
not
and
anymore. This Sunday I got my sixth degree. I got awarded my sixth degree. So yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Hey, congratulations on that. That is
Thank you.
impressive. And multiple other black belts and belts
Mhm.
held in other martial arts as well. So you literally are the epitome of living life to the fullest. I mean, in my opinion,
Well, thank you.
out of everyone, and it's crazy because do you even have a home that you see? Because I see I see you on Facebook and you're in Thailand hanging out, and then the next day you're hanging out on a rock outside of Ohio. I mean, I'm like, where's this guy get all the time to do all this?
Yeah, yeah,
Give
that is one of those. Sometimes I ask myself, and I'm always pleading for more time in the day, so I can do
you and
more
I both.
things.
Somehow though, you seem to find more in the day than I do, and I need to pick your brain. I need to take these classes that you're going to be doing to figure out how Hakeem fits it all into a 24-hour period. I struggle with it. I'm not going to lie, um, because you are all over the place. So, and you just did the show. What was it? Race to Survive Alaska.
Yeah, Race to Survive Alaska. That was an amazing experience. It was really tough though. So as that will show more and more as people watch the show how tough it is on the body, the mind, all that stuff.
Right?
So
Was it tougher than you expected then? I mean, was it more than what you had
yeah,
anticipated?
yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be a race. We thought it was going to be more survival. And so, if you watch the show, many of the people who were there are less survival, more adventure racing. And I'm less
Gotcha.
adventure racing and more survival. So, it was very difficult because, you're trying to keep up with these Iron Man runner types and it was really a beast in that sense. Just the first leg alone was 14 miles, and they want us to do 100 miles total. So
Good grief.
yeah, 100 miles in 40 days, all across the Alaskan wilderness, and it's with just the stuff we have on our back. And so yeah, it was pretty tough. It was intense.
And 100 miles, that's a lot of miles. I went out testing some of my gear here. Oh, it was last month, and I hiked about 14 miles, and I was pretty beat up. But I made it 14 miles, and some people say, that's not that bad. But then you take in consideration it's Alaska. There's bears, there's elk, there's moose, all these things that can potentially kill you. That makes it a little bit different for a race, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100% different. It was pretty intense, to say the least, and it was a challenge. It really was difficult, and
Awesome.
so did that, and in June, I got another show coming up where it's just me as I came and I was on one episode as an expert. And it's called Couples Retreat. And so that one was a lot easier. I got to just take some couples, some celebrity couples out and, make
So
them
you
do
just
some
beat on
survival
them then,
stuff. So I didn't have to actually do much.
right?
So
I mean, that's a nice change though. Take celebrities out and just beat them down
yeah.
into a pulp, beat them in submission. I mean, that sounds entertaining for sure. Um, I know you've been in so many different scenarios. I mean, and just like that, like, and I got another show coming out. Like I said, I have no idea where you find the time to do all this stuff, man. It's insane, and impressive. I mean, I'm jealous to say the least. But the psychological side of survival in these intense situations. I mean, how important is that? Because you're going to be doing a class for us at Mountain Readiness that's going to be on understanding psychological warfare in this age. How important is that mental state of mind when you're out there?
um, so the psyop has psychological understanding has multiple levels to it, right? So the psyop that we'll be talking about is actually about persuasion and manipulation as it pertains to the media and different organizations that want to sway people one way or the other and try and being able to identify that. However,
Oh,
the deeper essence of that is really understanding how you operate. And I think a lot of people don't really understand the depths of how they operate. And that's where things become very challenging for them in these type of situations is because like for instance, we're talking about the Alaskan thing, as you are going through certain levels of pain and discomfort and you have the stress of the time clock that you're racing other people, you don't know where they are, that starts to weigh on you in different ways, and until you are actually in a scenario that kind of fits that, it's very tough to understand how you're going to be able to deal with that. However, there are some tools. For instance, like I don't need to be building a house to understand how to use a hammer to build a house. So if I have the tools and I prepare and I understand how to use those tools, then I'm going to have a lot more success with building that house when the time comes. And the same thing here is understanding how you operate under pressure, when you're hungry, when you're starving, when you have to make a fire in less than optimal conditions is going to be very important. And part of that is your tool set. What tool set do you have? How did you build those muscles beforehand? Do you have any type of breath work? Do you have any type of meditation practices? Do you understand these different things? Now, we won't dive into those specific aspects in the class that I'll teach, but we're going to talk more from the, like I said, persuasion and manipulation aspect. But
okay.
just to answer your question, having those tool sets, those tools and those skill sets to be able to manage the different types of emotions and feelings that are going to come about if you're in a survival situation is very important.
So
It's
then, like you said, train.
more important
Yeah,
than having a fire starter is actually being able to deal with the stress of having to start a fire in a stressful scenario, like
right,
um, that's paramount. People have died with water in their canteens and
right,
died of
right.
dehydration with water in their canteens. So it tells you it's not always about what you have, it's about how you're able to understand and deal with the stress of the situation.
So training the mind as well as the body, just as
Yes.
important, and
Yes.
even under some circumstances more so important. Just like you said, died with a canteen of water, or that mental preparedness is that's life and death. So
Yeah.
um, you're also going to be teaching fighting Tomahawk. Now, unfortunately, I'll probably be driving around cleaning toilets and emptying trash because that's how that works at these events. But I'm going to try to sneak over there and do some of these classes. I'm a huge Tomahawk fan. I've got my Winkler Tomahawk. I've got my R&J Tomahawk. That's kind of my first go-to. If they said, here, you get one tool, one cutting tool, what's that item? To me, it's Tomahawk. It's kind of the perfect all around useful
Hmm.
tool and weapon. So
Yeah.
what's that class going to consist of?
So the fighting tomahawk is going to be real simple, and that really is. I can't, when you have a small window of time like this, the goal is to make sure that people have something that they can go home with and train with. Now, I'll also have an online course that will be, I'll have available for people who want to purchase it. But the goal is to give people small bits of information that they can get a maximum effect out of. And so
Right.
the things won't be complicated. They'll be very straightforward and simple because we need you to be able to remember this and be able to pull it off under duress if you ever actually have to use weapons like this. The other thing that I'm very fond of in my training and my teaching courses is giving you something that is multidimensional and versatile. So even if you learn it with the tomahawk, if you have a stick in your hand or a machete in your hand, you can still use the movements. The only idea or the only difference is that a machete is going to hack and cut. A stick is going to be a blunt trauma type thing. A tomahawk is going to be more of that hacking and piercing type, action. And so just recognizing that that's the different types of damage you do to the body is one thing, but if you can wield it properly, you can wield all of those other things in the same way, and therefore it cuts down your learning curve. It gives you more things you can do to defend yourself if you need to.
Well, and like I said, that small amounts, absorb it, and then testing your gear and training, because the last
Yeah.
thing you want to do is end up your own weapon being used against you or harming yourself with that tomahawk or weapon or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to these classes, Hakim, for sure. And I'm glad that we got a chance to talk, and hopefully we can talk more at the event, time permitting. You also have a dojo here in North Carolina as well, and you offer classes. You do a lot of different classes, don't you? What are some of the classes that you offer?
Yeah, so I have several different. I have three locations. I have two dojos, one in Fayetteville and one in Southern Pines, where we teach four different martial arts systems. Actually, five different martial arts systems. We teach ninjutsu, which is the art of the ninja. We teach Kali, which is a Filipino martial arts that's focused on stick fighting, knife fighting, and empty hand.
Right.
We also have a silat, which is a Malaysian martial arts, and that is also weapons. It's mostly weapons based stuff. Now that we'll be working on with that, and then we have Tomoy, which is akin to it's actually an ancient version of Muay Thai, but it's mainly for the battlefield. So we teach that, and lastly, we do like a Krav influenced combatives program that was created by a friend of mine who is a retired special forces soldier, holds many black belts and many other martial arts, and kind of created a culmination system for teaching people how to be deadly very fast with multiple weapon systems. So
Awesome. Hey, I'd really love to. I'm gonna have to schedule and pencil that in. Come down and see you guys and do a class with you. Just to maybe throw it up on a video too. Um, for everybody that wants to get with you on classes and the training that you offer, where can they go?
so if they want, so it's two websites. We have surviveuniversity.com, not survival, but Survive University. That is actually being built out more and more as the time moves on. Then we have, my regular page for me, which you can link to all my other pages through that, which is Hakim Hakim dash Isler.com, and that kind of gives you a good overview. Everything I'm involved in, you can get to from that site, and that's a good site to start with for anyone who wants to kind of reach out to me and see where I'm going to be and what I'm doing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, there you have it, folks. So Hakim Isler, check him out online, Facebook. Of course, you're on there as well. We'll drop all your links down at the bottom of this video. And I really appreciate you coming and take. I know you're a busy guy and time is of the essence. There's no doubt. But I appreciate you coming and taking the time to talk with us. We are really looking forward to having you there at the event, May 5th, 6th, and 7th. Come see Hakim. It's going to be great, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.